الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب الله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرزق وطهرهم تطهيرا. We have started the topic of Ibadah, and every week we try to recap and see what you remember, or some people may have been absent. So we'll see how much we can go forward, inshallah. So the question that we have about the Ibadah is that, and that's what even has been asked some of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Why do we have to do Ibadah? Why is it important to do Ibadah? This why would be both ways. One is that to say, why do we have to do it as the reason that we have been told to do it? And the second, why do we have to do it as the consequences? So we did Ibadah for what? What's going to happen? But the short answer that we gave before, that's what we would like to keep in mind at all time, and then maybe add other things to it. Then what's the point of doing Ibadah? Who remembers? Mr. Malik, you should be an expert now. You've heard this so many times.
For closing to Allah first, and then
For closeness to Allah. Yes.
What you said according to the ayah of Quran, you don't have anything in the earth.
Purpose of creation.
Except the water.
That's right. That is saying that this is what we're supposed to do. We agree on that. But why? Why did Allah Ta'ala say that you have to do Ibadah? Let's say it this way, and this is a question perhaps we have heard quite often. Right now there is let's say we got Mr. Hassan in here, and we got Mr. Jones out there. Mr. Hassan comes to Masjid, he prays, he does fasting, his siyam, he pays his khums. And then the other guy is Mr. Jones. When we tell Mr. Jones, what do you do? He said, I don't pray, and I don't fast. I help others. I try to be a nice person. I help my neighbors, and I try to help in a charity. What's wrong? Why do we think that Mr. Hassan is right and Mr. Jones is wrong? Why? Because Mr. Jones doesn't do Ibadah. Yes, Hassan?
Mr. Hassan contact with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yes.
And Mr. Jones not with
That's right, no contact with Allah, but why does it matter? So the question that he would ask Mr. Jones or this question could be from anybody, it could be from atheists. You got to think about it. The majority of Christians, they don't have a lot of rituals. Most of Christians, they don't have to do a lot of rituals. The rituals there, like A'mal al-Abadi, those things, they are there, but most of them, they're not bothered with it. They say, look at these things. Some of them say these things were for Israelites, for the time of Ben Israel. It was for them, not for us. And some of them, they say all the same thing that some Muslims say as well. They say your heart should be pure. Who cares? You do this, you do that. What we are trying to say is to bring a reason to prove that Mr. Hassan is doing better thing or would be better thing for either himself or for the society. We want to know, why does it matter? Why does it matter to, for example, know Allah, get ma'rifah and pray to Allah? Why? What's the point? If the society and the people come and go from in this world, so one thing, of course, one answer is to say is for akhirah. Sheikh Hassan, can you get rid of this light, please? This is bothering me.
Oh, sorry.
One point is that, thank you, that you say we are working for akhirah, then fine. Then is the end of discussion. Because Mr. Jones says, look, I don't believe in akhirah. Mr. Hassan says, I believe in akhirah. So Mr. Hassan continues what he's doing, and Mr. Jones continues what he's doing. And they have no problem. Because he says, I'm doing something for my akhirah. But is that true? Like, let's say, even now, for example, they may even say this. You say, well, Islam is better for humanity. That's what people say. I mean, obviously there is a bit of explanation what they mean by that. But let's say we agree that they are saying that generally. They say, well, who said Islam is better for humanity? Look at all Muslim countries. Most of them are dictators. The ones that are not dictators, they have problem with the corruption and economy. They got problems. So you don't see many Muslim countries or Islamic, or now this has become a fashion, they call that Sharia law. So Sharia law, for example, they say, oh, we talk about Sharia law. Who said Sharia law is good? How are we supposed to prove that is better? Because if it's just for akhirah, thank you very much, then what's the point of fighting over it? You know, it's for your akhirah. You do what you want to do for your akhirah, and they do what they want to do for their dunya. You suffer in your dunya, you get your akhirah. He enjoys his dunya, he doesn't get akhirah. He doesn't believe in akhirah. Muslims don't believe, or if they believe, they don't believe in the version that you believe. None of these would justify ibadah. Because when you say ibadah, you've got to say what you mean by that. If you are, for example, doing exactly the same thing. Like we said, if we do exactly the same thing, like one person goes to work without any niyyah, no qurbatan ilallah, no intention of doing something for the sake of Allah, it does exactly the same job, and his friend is doing exactly the same job with the niyyah of doing something for the sake of Allah. He's doing ibadah, this guy is not doing ibadah. Yeah? Why does it matter? Why does it matter to have this intention and go to work with that in mind? And Hajj made a good point that there's no connection with Allah, but we got to say why that matters.
The depths of this, I think everything we do in this world, everyone doing something in this world, even believer or non-believer, has like such effect in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Something good, it does have an
Effect. There's an effect on this world.
Some people or something, it does have
Yes.
an effect. Depths of this effect matters. If someone like without believing in Allah or someone strong or some like creator or something, it does like a shallow, very low
superficial.
depth. Yeah, but if something happens, something like he's going to be poor or someone is going to point at him or
blaming for something. Yeah.
Something is not gonna do it. When you say, okay,
He stops doing what he's doing.
Depths of this.
So that's the depth of their belief matters because they are stronger. People who have strong belief, they're stronger in what they do.
What the other one for Ibadah is one for my job.
Yes.
Is my personal experience.
Yes.
One of the things in gym we have is we say servo control. Servo control is actually the motor is working or the actuator is working, then something is detecting it. Detecting, for example, the distance. The distance now is 100, controller says go to 200. Then this one goes to 2 and 5. 205. Then control again instead of asking to come back. Right? You go too far. Going to 199. Then it's going to ask him to go to 200. Exactly, it's going to reach to that point. And controller always is checking the set value with the process value. And this process is at the point till reaching the next order. Is keep checking if it's still at that point.
Yes.
I think Ibadah is something like that. Is always checking. This servo control, this technology is here maybe in the world maybe for 100 years. Is everywhere in airplanes, in mobile, in cars, everywhere they're using servo control. It's very effective and is all about control, muraqabah, something you can say.
So
Ibadah, I think, is this.
So you're saying Ibadah
you are in the right position or not?
Is controlling us, is checking us to make sure that we are at the correct spot of, but then there's a standard there.
Yeah.
So the issue regarding standard in these two cases that we said that they did exactly the same thing. So both of them did exactly, from outside they did exactly the same thing. They went to work. They went to work. That's for the death. Okay. So that's another thing. So you're talking about, you mentioned the word muraqabah. So like you kind of controlling or monitoring. Yeah.
I think one of the most important in life with him, not about the depths. For me, is Ibadah is coming from the abd, is root. It is one of the most important, I think, from the Allah is quality of the abd or purity. Okay, as I remember, somebody spoke to the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said our neighbor is from the since morning up to the end of the day. Okay, dark to dark. He is doing ibadah. And I think Hazrat Muhammad or Ali sallallahu alaihi said he is doing some wrong. He is not go to the heaven because he is not being respect to his family. He is not going to the work. He is not earning money for his family or something like this.
Yeah.
I think if you are comparing between the Hassan and Jones, okay, my beliefness is God more accept the deed or indeed of the people. Somebody, a lot of, as you can mention, a lot of the Muslim countries, they have the Kaaba, they have the pray 10 times, 7 times per day, everything, but they are not actual Muslim. Or look at their deed. It's not, it's abd. God or say, Allah said in the Quran, doing this one, protect the Muslim.
Is it just for akhirah? What you're saying? Is it just for akhirah or for the dunya as well?
Even for this world, but because I think a lot of even philosophy or all of the alim Muslim is believe whatever you are doing in this world, it is same as a mirror. You receive reflect. If you are going to bad, definitely you will see. A part of the akhirah, also you see the result in this world. Okay, but one of the things is this one is the Muslim is you can a lot of the countries they have the a civil war, they have a lot of the corruption because they are artificially believe Allah or God. They are not go through the depth and quality and then really stand whatever the Allah wants. as long as they are not follow.
So again, that's superficial. Yeah. So the point that you made, if I summarize them as if I understood correctly so far. So one is again the superficial belief that may not really take people to where they're supposed to, and you mentioned that in Muslim countries people actually they're not. So if we're saying that if somebody, Mr. Jones says that, look, Muslim countries are not very successful, what you are saying to them is that because
Mr. Jones is not Muslim,
yeah,
but deeply or genetically,
yeah.
he believes, for example, that things have to do helping, for example, the Muslim people going
Yeah.
to the world, doing the job with a high quality.
Yeah.
This one. He is growing, but I know he reached it. Okay, but the Muslim people, no. You know, my understanding, they are not deeply believe or did not reach how much the value of the God or Quran.
Yeah.
This one.
So let me just go to a bit more into the results of that as well.
Before both side, it is not doing ibadah. It's not coming from the app. App, my understanding, you are follow the God direction. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and do whatever He wants. Okay, if
Yeah.
you do the real or the purity in your ibadah, you can reach the God.
Yeah, that's.
You go to the mosque. I mean, you go outside.
That was what we referred to it last time as ubudiyya. So that's the word. Yeah, that's right. But let me just again to open this a little bit more, even though we haven't directed it much. But I want to even give you these things to keep your mind. Somebody comes tomorrow, or as it happened before, they changed an ibadah. So we have the ibadah as the Prophet ﷺ brought to us from Allah Ta'ala or from his own authority. Somebody comes and changes that, like Umar ibn Khattab. So he changed a few things. Yeah, he looked at the adhan and he deleted something. He deleted Hayya ala khayr al-amal. Yeah? They understood wudu should be the way that they are doing now. And they did not follow, for example, Imam Ali alayhi salam in how to make wudu. Or other things that they did change, like made salat, for example, tarawih, al-jama'ah, and all that. Why does it matter? I mean, who cares? Why does it matter if we say Hayya ala khayr al-amal or not? Or let's say, for example, because at the end you're doing adhan for people to come to the mosque and pray. And somebody may come and say tomorrow and say, look, why does it matter? Both Shia and Sunni, they say adhan, people come to the mosque and pray. Or why does it matter if you hold hand here or down there or here? As the Sunnah, they have few places. Some of them hold here, from them down. Or no, like Malikis or Shia, they put their hand. Why does it matter? Because at the end they're saying the same words. Yes? At the end they are worshipping. They believe in Allah. They are saying the same Quran in the Salah. And why does it matter? What would change in this world? Yes.
Yeah, as I said, is the process of checking your spot is the correct spot. If that process is not correct, how you gonna make sure you are the
Yeah, I know, but what you're talking about a standard. You see that machine that you're talking in engineering, that machine was set to 200 because they checked the standard and they realized number 200 is the right number. Yes? And that would have been through testing, researching different factors, and they decided on that. Our question is this. If our standard, if our target is to have ubudiyya and do ibadah for the sake of Allah, why does it matter if you delete some part of it or say extra.
Who is going to give us that ruler? Who is going to give us that measure? That matters.
Who is going to give it?
Which point
Well,
of view?
that's the thing. So because we are saying that the target is ubudiyah, to get close to Allah and to worship Allah. I mean, if you pay attention, actually, maybe the answer is already in the question, but people might say that, and people say it all the time. They say like Shia, Sunni, all that. Some people, most of them, they want to say this, that these things are history. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares that who was supposed to become the imam or the successor? Somebody became successor. Things moved on. We got Islam, we got Quran, we got Sunnah. Let's move on. Why does it matter that somebody came and deleted a couple of words from your adhan or your iqama and you are so angry about it? Who cares? That's what they say. When I say the answer is the question is this. It's not actually, it's not that important, the word. Maybe it's sometimes very important too, but not necessarily. Yeah? Why? If all of us, if we learn something in religion, and because we got it from the same source, we got it from a marja, a mujtahid, and that mujtahid got it wrong. Possible. Yeah, when Imam Zaman alayhi salam comes, certain things will change. Now, why does it matter if we all got it wrong and we continued? It doesn't. Most of the time, it's not a big deal. Let's say we all got it wrong, and wudu is supposed to be the way Ahl Sunnah do it, or not a third version of it. Let's say some people actually they made up a third version as well. This is funny. So they do half like Sunnis, half like Shia. Sushi version, yeah. Remember the sushi guy? That's what they call it, sushi, yeah, Sunni and Shia. So the guy does sushi version of wudu. And then you say, why does it matter? Well, maybe it matters, sometimes there are even medical benefits, other benefits. But the name is on it. When Allah says go left, but actually left and right were the same, or not much different. But you did not go left, you went right, you went another direction. It doesn't matter what was on the left path or was on the right path. It matters that you went on right against Allah's wish. Like shaitan, like Allah Ta'ala, one of the creations of Allah that is numerous, is very, very, very high in number, is the angels. Malaika, there are many, many, many of them. Much more than human being. Yeah? You got this Adam, that the angels are doing sajda for the sake of Adam. Yeah? Who cares this shaitan doesn't do it? Huh? Allah doesn't want shaitan do it because one person missing, you have to tick. Yeah? And nothing happens to shaitan if he didn't do it. Like the sajda itself is not a big deal. It's not exercising the going down or not going down, whatever sajda meant. And Adam alayhi salam doesn't really miss anything because he has no sajda. Yes? All what happened is that he did not have ubudiyah. All these problems that happen for shaitan is because of the essence of that. Now, you go back to the original question now. Why does it matter to have ubudiyah? And why do we do so many ibadah? Because we said ibadah matters if it increases our ubudiyah. And a'mal al-ibadi matter, they are valuable as long as they are ibadat. They are with the intention and for the sake of Allah. Because every time that you say Allahu Akbar, and that's why our prayers may or may not do anything. If our prayers are doing something, for example, every day we're getting up. Why do we get up and say all these words? You've got problem with your memory every day. Bismillah ar-Rahman, the same surah again. Why? Why do you have to say the same surah so many times in a day? Why do we have to bend and say the same dhikr every time? Subhana Rabbi al-A'la wa bihamdi. Go on sajda. You said it in the morning. Why do you say it in noon time? Why do you say it in Asr time? Why do you say it in Maghrib time? Why? You always said it. And we know what you want to say. Okay? People here, okay, we know what you want to say. Okay? It's not about that. It's not about, for example, how good your words are or how nice your tajweed is. You have to do the best tajweed because Allah wants it. You have to repeat it so many times a day because Allah wants it. You have to do it the way Allah has said because Allah wants it. The difference between Hayya ala khair and amal, if somebody deletes it on purpose. The Sunnah now, they don't have any. If Muslims don't even know it was part of Salah, part of Adhan and Iqamah. They didn't even know about it. So for them it's different. But if somebody comes and deletes Hayya ala khair and amal or anything else from religion, deletes it on purpose. The difference is the difference between shaitan and malaika. That's the difference. If somebody does it on purpose, you know that what Allah said you have to say and you say, I don't want to say. You know Allah said don't do it this way and you want to do it that way. The difference between these two is the difference between shaitan and angels. This is so important. The difference between ibadah or not ibadah is the difference between shaitan and angels. That's the difference. We are, people say, are you fighting over something? And well, let's not fight then. So who cares? Shaitan didn't do sajda. Let's forgive shaitan as well, huh? I was coming. My wife said that she's heard somebody was doing one of these, nice tafsir of Quran that is good for public, but they're not very accurate. They make up something. So I was just reciting the ayah myself, Ya ayyuhal insan ma gharraka bi rabbika al-kareem. And she said, somebody translated, they said like this, he said that, why did, the ayah says, oh human, why did you become arrogant towards your nurturer, Allah, your Rabb, who is Kareem, who is kind? So why did you become arrogant? And that guy was in his tafsir saying that because you answered with the same ayah because you say Allah is Kareem. When Allah is Kareem, then you become arrogant. I said, no! I was so shocked. I said, no, ayah is saying exactly opposite that. Ayah is saying, how could you be arrogant towards a Rabb, towards the Lord, towards the nurturer who is Kareem? It's exactly opposite that. Means that you as a normal person, insan, human, if you use your logic, if you have a little bit of understanding, you would not become arrogant towards the Rabb that is Kareem. It's exactly opposite what the guy was trying to imply. And that's the issue. The issue is that if you say that you can be arrogant towards Allah and answer like that, then shaitan you just justified shaitan's problem. Since shaitan says, oh well, you were Kareem and felt like not doing sajda for Adam, who cares? You're Kareem anyway. Forgive me. Sometimes people, they go bend backwards, as in English they say some people bend backwards. So in Farsi they say they go back and they fall from the other side of the roof. Yeah, that's the saying in Farsi. They say some people go back and back. They go back until they fall from the other side. So because if you come near the edge of the roof, People get scared. They say, no, don't come too close. Go back. He says, okay, well, I'll go back. He keep going back and he falls from the other side. So that's the problem with these people. And in English, they say they bend backwards. So they are trying to make Ibadah and religion and Allah very sort of soft and without any punishment, nothing. Well, if that's the case, you just justified Shaitan would be forgiven anyway. Why is Shaitan into so much trouble? He didn't do anything. What's he done? You know, nowadays people come and say this to us, don't they? I'm sure the Iranian have heard it, isn't it? You guys have heard this. They come and say, like, have I killed somebody? Have I stolen somebody's property? Have I taken somebody else's job? Have I hurt you by punching your face? Have I done this? Have I done that? They say all of this. Shaitan didn't do any of this either. Did Shaitan punch anybody? Did Shaitan steal something? Did Shaitan drink alcohol? Did he come out of nightclub that Allah said, go, you are regime? Huh? He didn't. Did he commit adultery? He didn't. He didn't do any of these things. In fact, he was abid. He was worshipping Allah for years and years. But he had one thing. He said, you know what? I'm arrogant. You say sajda, I say no sajda. That's it. He didn't do anything wrong. Based on the standard of those people they talk. Looks like Shaitan hasn't done much that should deserve, if it's in our standard, if the standard that people understand, and they because this is, unfortunately, this is a humanist approach to religion. And then we got now this humanist inside Islam, inside Shia. They are humanists, but they act like they are Muslim. But that's not Islam. The huge difference there Allah has made. The first story that Allah tells us, after Adam is created, is the story of Shaitan, not doing sajda. Istikbar of Shaitan. That's the first story that Allah is telling us. He said, look, you want to go to enter this life, first learn this. Now go. Oh, I hope I did not make you I did not make you more confused. Have I? Yes? So these points are very important, and I realize that if I move on with the topic, these things don't get registered properly in people's minds. Anything else?
Just I got some idea in my mind.
Yes.
In countries like Islamic countries, they said like if Islam is good or if what you say is correct or something, but Islamic countries are like that.
Yes.
Fighting each other, too many corruption,
Yeah.
dictators or something. What I can see in Islamic countries is like lifestyle, it's like fashion. It's not about knowing Allah or following Allah.
That's right. Yeah.
Just for sometimes even hijab
Yeah.
in some countries, it's just a fashion.
Yeah, that's true. Cultural. Hijab is more cultural. Well, to be honest with you, the person asked that question is a fallacy, mughalata. It's a mughalata, yeah? So he is saying this, oh, look at the Islamic countries like this. Well, that's not actually true. First of all, in this world, there are lots of countries who are poor, who are corrupt, who have problems, and many of them are not Islamic, yeah? You go around the world, lots of countries, look at what is happening to the Rohingya Muslims, they're killing them. Well, obviously that country, you know, is not a good country, and it's not run by Muslims. Or look at the corruption you see in countries like in South America, they're all Christian. Yeah, in fact, they're very religious. Christian Muslims are quite religious. Look at the corruption, the what is happening in countries like China, the dictatorship. They are under, they pin them down. North Korea is not Muslim, yeah, and people are practically imprisoned, yeah. So that what they are saying that our Muslim countries is not true. Many countries in this world are under oppression. They have been, and that's because certain countries that they had power, they managed to control this and milk them. They take their resources, they take their power, and those countries that are doing this themselves, they don't care what are these people background and religion, and themselves, if they want to do something. I remember because when I was in England, it was the time of Tony Blair, the Prime Minister of England. And it was one of the famous things that they put in one of the programs talking about him. And they said, it's interesting, when he was in power, and when at the earlier stages of his power, they talked to I think in the parliament, or somebody was talking to him, or maybe question and answer. He said, we don't do God. Basically, nothing to do with God. They said, we run the country totally secularism. The secularism is that just a standard. And then later on, he attacks Iraq. He attacked Iraq, and he says that God wanted me to do it. And later on, he stops becoming prime minister. He goes and he changes his religion, which we didn't know what it was, to Catholic. He went to the Pope and he announced that he wants to be Catholic. So, based on the situation, because he wanted to become an ambassador, and he did become an ambassador for aid and all that, and going around the world, we don't have any politics, expertise.
What do they say in the bean sock stand?
What is it?
Yeah, it's the bar.
Yeah.
Bean sock stand.
They go very well. It was, yeah, that's right. So the important thing is that many of these countries that they are claiming, but the reason I mentioned is that for example, if you look at USA, and you may say they are Christian, but the truth is they're not Christian, and it's a country that is run based on whatever is going to give them more money and facility. If today saying I'm Christian gives them better popularity, they say they're Christian. If tomorrow they have to say we're not Christian, they will say we're not Christian. Doesn't matter what the name is. It's the same thing with majority of Muslim countries. So the constitution, the constitution in Muslim countries, majority of them are written by either French or British.
I think most of the problem in the Muslim country is not created by themselves. Is created or imported by the other's country.
Yeah, like any other, yeah.
Look at the
That's what I'm saying.
Who is create Baha'iyya?
Yeah, they're all
Wahhabiyya?
the same thing. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, exactly.
All of them is source of the London or UK.
Of course, yeah, that's true. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that that question actually is not accurate. It's a fallacy. They are confusing you on purpose, as if the problem with Muslim countries is about Islam. No, in fact, it's lack of Islam, and you can see lack of Islam is the one that causes problem. Nobody has ever claimed or proved, even if they claim they're stupid enough to claim this, but proved that hijab brings more adultery, brings more prostitution. Nobody can claim that. Nobody has, I don't think, has claimed, or if they have, they've been stupid, because at the end of the day, if you keep certain things out of the society, it would help with, for example, nobody can say that if you don't drink alcohol, you're going to have trouble. Nobody has ever said or proved or even claimed that if you don't drink alcohol, you're having more problems. While the other side has been proven many times that with drinking we got more accidents, more domestic violence, more cancer, more heart attack, more, you name it. There's a long list of things that we have with alcohol, and then you want to come and tell me that you know better because you're not like Mr. Jones that we're talking about, because you're an atheist or you are this, you're that religion, this religion. Well, you're saying that, for example, Muslims are doing the wrong thing, but you don't follow even your own 10 commands. So, for example, Christian, they believe in the Old Testament, don't they? Based on Old Testament, they are supposed to eat pigs or not?
No.
It's forbidden. Yeah? So you are telling us that, Muslim are what? You don't even consider the Christianity rules. You don't even, because Christianity is supposed to follow those things and then say they're Christian. So, just to wrap it up, I think we talk too much, is important, I think, to reflect on this fact. And another factor that inshallah, maybe one day we'll talk about it, is that what we do something wrong today, why does it matter if that is done, for example, for myself or my room or for my own family? Why does it matter? Some people say, oh, I'm doing something for myself. You say, oh, this is bad, something, whatever, any sin. Why does it matter? Yeah, inshallah, I leave that question to you for another time. So that today we proved something, inshallah, and inshallah we'll prove that as well. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد